when I turned 25, I told myself that I wanted to create, like, go into event planning specifically for weddings. And my goal for that was really to share everyone's stories. So I find that whether it's your birthday party and you're celebrating like a huge milestone, or if you're celebrating your wedding, you're celebrating the union between two people. And it's not just two people, it's like beyond just like the physical. You're celebrating their culture, you're celebrating like where they end up being. Two families are going to be coming in together. And so whether that's like a wedding or like a community event, like I really want to know why that event is happening and to bring the ideas that they have into like fruition. I'm Filipino, and so my family moved here when I was 3, turning 4. And it was like one of those things where in their culture back in the Philippines, like the only way you can really like survive or thrive or be successful is if you're in a career that's in the medical field, like you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a nurse, like the classic stereotype of being a nurse, or you're an architect or an engineer or even a lawyer, like that high caliber career that's sought out. So growing up, I was like, oh, okay, well, my dad's a dentist, my mom's a dentist, coming here, like I'm the first of 4. Like I love the sciences, I love bio, I love like things to do with the human body and the human mind. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the course I need to take in elementary school, and do all these kind of things. But when I was like 11 or like 12, when in grade 6, we had to do like an about me project of where we wanted to see ourselves in a career. I'm like, oh my gosh, grade 6, like now looking back on it, I'm like, you have to know what you want to do. Like that's insane. And when I watched Wedding Planner, I was like, oh my goodness, like I really want to do that, because I found myself being like really organized. I loved being like having structure. I liked creating things. And when I saw a wedding planner, I was like, I want to be a wedding planner. I told my parents and they're like, yeah, I think that's just like a side project that you should do. So at that young of an age, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Let me just, like, it's okay. So there were so many instances where I was able to like use that skill or use that passion of like creating parties for little kids, being an MC for birthday parties. And then when my friends started getting married, that's when like it really hit me that, oh my goodness, like I could do this. I currently work alongside a catering company too, because I do love food. So it just like made sense for me to be around someone with, or like company with food, but still in the industry. Because even then, like food makes such a huge difference. It just mixed the two together of my love of food and nutrition with my love of event planning. If someone tells you to not do something, but you find that yourself, like you're really passionate about, you know, deep down in your gut that that is what you need to do, then like what's the harm in trying? Like failure for me is like such a big like teacher. Well, growing up, I thought failure was such a bad thing and that I'm not getting anywhere in life. That I was not successful, that I'm not going to get anywhere, that I won't land a really good job. Failure was like a no-go in the Filipino household. You cannot talk about it and you cannot like show that you failed. You have to be like 100% all the time, and that's draining. Even though it's good to have all these ambitions and all these goals and all these like things that you want to do, that's great. The biggest thing that I want to share too is that you have to take care of yourself, because it's okay to fail, because how are you going to get back up again? How are you going to serve the community that you want to serve? How are you going to be there for other people? And it's a lot of pressure to put on someone, even for myself, that like I forget to take care of myself. And it's hard to take care of like someone else if you can't even take care of yourself and take your own advice. So I consider myself a Christian. I grew up in a Catholic household, and Filipinos are like diehard Catholics. If you go to the Philippines, like you'll see a lot of Catholic churches. Majority of them are some Muslims. And coming to Canada, like my parents really instilled that. I went to a Catholic school, elementary and high school. And at the time, I was just like, I had to be Catholic because my parents are Catholic. That's what I know, and that's what I grew. I didn't take it to heart that was like, it was my own belief. But then my parents were invited to a Christian camp that when we moved here, we befriended a lot of other Filipinos, and their lives were changed. They just became Baptist, still believing in God, but just different practices. And it was hard for me because I still went to Catholic school. I faced tension between being Protestant and being Catholic. And it even caused tension within my own immediate family, within my extended family, my cousins and my aunts and uncles. And it was hard because I felt like I had to then choose or had to decide. Having that has enabled me to do the things that I want to do and to become the person that I want to be. And it has honestly saved me. And especially in the toxicity of some cultures, where especially in the Philippines, where you have to be a certain way and act a certain way and be in a career that is successful and brings in all the money. And if you don't have that, then that's it. So what really got me through that whole mindset, or just being able to stand up for myself and do the things I'm doing now, having that stability of figuring out who God is and why he created me and why I'm in this world, has made such a huge difference. My family and I, it has been a journey. I would say, because I'm the oldest of four, and all these expectations of me were impressed upon me, and I took it to heart. It was rough growing up, but I think now that I've traveled, or now that I've moved to different places or spent some time, the older I get, the more I realize that my parents especially have sacrificed so much for us to be here. And the relationships that I have with my brothers and my sister and my parents have, I think, have gotten better. We're human, so things sometimes obviously aren't perfect, but at the end of the day, my family, when we understand each other or do our best to really listen and to really hear where the other person is talking about, generational gaps obviously are still there, and we were raised in completely different places, them in the Philippines and me here, and it's adjustment for everybody. But I feel like we're a lot better because that communication gates have opened, and we all just want to be there for each other. And my parents have really instilled that, no matter what you want to do, whether I want you to be a dentist or whether you want to be a nurse or a doctor or whatever, I just want you to be a good person. And yeah, I think that's all. Even when I become parents, I'm pretty sure the Filipino roots that my parents have instilled in me will hopefully be passed on to my future kids.